Okay, my speech today is going to be on how ancient Egypt lives in our world. You're like, what? That can't be true. But it's serious. Ancient Egypt lives on in some pretty interesting ways that you might have just seen before. Destination, France. Ah, Paris, the fashion capital of the world, home of berets and baguettes, and of course romance. Take a trip down the river, see a vine or two, but be sure to check out one of the greatest art museums in the entire world. Egyptian art at its finest. Welcome to the Louvre. Ladies and gentlemen, the Louvre Museum of Art, featuring a beautiful glass pyramid that is over 70 feet tall. It's flanked by two smaller pyramids. Sorry. You actually walk under the pyramid to get in. So now that I've mentioned a bit about France, I should mention some of their rivals. Destination, Great Britain. Double-decker buses, cars on the wrong side of the road, Big Ben tolling the hour, the House of Parliament, and, of course, more Egyptian art. This is the Egyptian Avenue, located in the cemetery in London. Decorated with Egyptian design, it is said to be the final resting place of Karl Marx, the father of communism. The walls are decorated with Egyptian murals, and the columns are carved in the lotus style, like Egyptians used to do. There are many hieroglyphs on the walls as well. The Egyptian Hall of London is a museum that was built like an Egyptian temple. It was completed in 1812, and at the time held 15,000 artifacts. However, in 1819, it was turned into an exhibition hall, and then finally in 1905, it was demolished. Whoa, I mean, that's pretty cool and all, right? But Howard Carter, a famous British archaeologist, he uncovered one of the greatest, spectacular, most incredible Egyptian tombs of all time. King Tutankhamun, the boy pharaoh. Over 200 pieces of pure gold treasure was found in this magnificent tomb, which was uncovered in 1922. Many of the priceless treasures are in the Museum of Cairo, but about half of the treasure travels around the world in an epic exhibit. However, the tomb held a mysterious curse. Shortly after discovering the tomb, Carter died of an insect bite on his face. What's interesting is that both Carter and the boy pharaoh have similar lesions on their face. Coincidence? You decide. The Curse of the Mummy is a wonderful urban legend, but did you know that we actually share some folktales and lores with the ancient Egyptians? Ever heard of Cinderella? You know, she was a servant, lost her shoe, yada yada, you get the point. Well, in ancient Egypt, they have the girl with the rose-red slippers. One day, a falcon, the sacred bird of Horus, the god of the kings, stole a slipper from the beautiful Rhodomus and flew off to drop it in the pharaoh's lap. He was instantly in love with the owner of this tiny and delicate shoe, and searched all over ancient Egypt to find its mysterious owner. It was love at first. Shoe? Aww. But even Russia was bit by the Egyptian craze, as they built the Egyptian Bridge in downtown St. Petersburg, which is kind of an original name, right? The two Sphinx on the bridge look a little more Russian than Egyptian because the headdresses aren't quite as long to the sides. They've got the big pointy part in the middle. But even so, they're an impressive sight. I bet people are just rushing to see them. Fun is funny. But look at the background of the obelisk I just pointed out. Obelisks are sacred to the gods of Egypt because they they pierce the realms of the sky, the home of the legendary sun god Ra, who rides his boat across the sky, bringing daylight and peace to the land. The obelisk craze swept the world, and even Bernini, a great Roman artist, created his own. The obelisk itself was one of the last to be brought out of Egypt. Bernini himself only sculpted the bottom part of it and added little Christian designs on the top. Obelisks are common sights in Rome. Also, in Ireland, the lush land of Celtic lore, the place where the stories of King Arthur and the Round Table, come from. The obelisk of the Castle Town Folly attracts many visitors a year to see the beautiful stone structure. In America, the Battle of Bunker Hill was a strategic loss for the Americans during the Revolutionary War, but a great morale booster because they took out so many British. So, how did they honor this? By building an Egyptian obelisk. Even in our capital, the Washington Monument stands tall and proud, the largest obelisk in the world to touch the sky. Standing at a spectacular 555 feet, you can take an elevator ride to look out over our nation's capital in an Egyptian structure. And if this whole presentation wasn't enough to convince you of ancient Egypt's survival, I encourage you to go downtown and visit Boise's own Egyptian theater, the host of this year's Boise Ignite event. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time.